I'm Kendra Von Esch of Shalom World, bringing you the news from around the globe. A British court reversed a ruling that would have forced a mentally disabled woman to abort her child against the wishes of both her and her mother. The decision was overturned following an appeal filed by the unidentified woman's mother, who opposed the abortion and offered to care for the child. The pregnant woman is a Catholic, and church leaders were quick to come to her defense. Bishop John Sherrington, an auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of Westminster, said forcing a woman to have an abortion against her will and that of her close family infringes upon her human rights, not to mention the right of her unborn child to life in a family that has committed to caring for the child. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals allowed the Trump administration to deny federal funding to entities that commit abortions, which means that Planned Parenthood will start to lose about $60 million in federal funding. In February, the Health and Human Services Department issued a rule insisting that abortion providers who receive the federal Title X funding could not refer women for abortions. Shortly thereafter, several states sued over the new policy, and California, Washington, and Oregon received a preliminary injunction that blocked the rule from going into effect. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned that decision last week, calling the administration rules a reasonable interpretation of the federal law. The solemnity of Corpus Christi was celebrated by the Catholic faithful around the world on Sunday.
A group of about 350 people, including priests, sisters, and lay people, processed through Washington, D.C. to celebrate the Feast of Corpus Christi. The procession was led by Monsignor Charles Pope, the pastor of Holy Comforter St. Cyprian Church in Washington. Pope Francis also celebrated the Feast of Corpus Christi in Castel Bertone, a neighborhood in Rome, on Sunday with Mass and a Eucharistic procession. In Australia, thousands of faithful Catholics participated in the Corpus Christi processions held in major cities such as Sydney, Melbourne, Hobart, and Brisbane. In a nation like Australia, which is becoming very secular, public celebrations like Corpus Christi can remind the nation that the Christian faithful are not shy of proclaiming their faith boldly, even in adverse situations.
The international debut of the Vatican women's football team, which was scheduled to play in a friendly match against Vienna FC Maria Hilf on Saturday, was canceled after abortion and LGBT activists disrupted the game before it began. Vienna soccer players lifted their jerseys while the Vatican anthem was playing, displaying pro-abortion messages. Danilo Zanaro, a representative of the Vatican Sports Association, said that the game was called off because we are here for the sport and not for political or other messages. A Catholic high school in Indianapolis, Indiana, said that it dismissed a teacher who was in a same-sex marriage after direct guidance from Archbishop Charles C. Thompson. Officials of the Cathedral High School said that in order to remain a Catholic Holy Cross school, Cathedral must follow the direct guidance given to us by Archbishop Thompson and separate from the teacher. There are 68 schools recognized as Catholic by the Archdiocese of Indianapolis. The decision comes days after a Jesuit high school in the Archdiocese refused to comply with a similar instruction and had its Catholic status stripped by the Archbishop. Mary arose and went with haste will be the Marian theme of World Youth Day 2022, which will be held in Lisbon, Portugal. Pope Francis announced the theme of World Youth Day on Saturday at the conclusion of the International Youth Forum. Pope Francis said that he desires young people to reflect on this verse taken from St. Luke's biblical account of the Virgin Mary's visitation to her cousin Elizabeth after the Annunciation. The Portuguese capital is just 75 miles from Fatima, one of the most visited Marian pilgrimage sites in the world. Thank you for watching and for your support. Stay in touch on social media, our app, and online at shalomworld.org. May you walk in the light of the Lord, and may peace be with you always.